Unite beyond boundaries. Innovate together. Joe's PANKRATION 2024. No border.
Go ahead.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining today's session. I'm going to talk about ZeroETL on AWS, how it helps you to accelerate insights, eliminating complexity. In this world where we are more focused on generative AI, machine learning, it's very important to get the right posture of your data, get a right foundation strategy. That's where I'll talk about today how exactly the different insights, the different features of AWS and the accelerations, what they are providing, how it helps you to get and ready your data for solving your business insights. If you are a data engineer or data analyst, and you're the one who's working on the data pipeline, analytics, or the operation, then this session is meant for you guys because that's where you'll get a lot of benefits to understand how to work on data, how to solve the problem, and fix the issues which are. In case if you're not belongs to either of the role, still you can be in this session. You can learn how exactly a life of a data engineer and how they try to solve the problem. So my name is Sanchit Jain. I'm based out of India. I work as a data analytics practice lead for one of the premier partners, which is Quantify. I'm an AWS hero, AWS user group leader, as well as an AWS ambassador based out of in Mumbai in India. If you want to like to follow me, I've given the scanner code at the bottom of this presentation. I'm available at LinkedIn, Twitter, or GitHub. You can follow me in either of the platform. So let's stay in touch. If you have any questions about it, please feel free to ask me in either of the platforms. With that, let me start with today's agenda. In general, what exactly is the data pipeline and what are the challenges of it? Most of the people out here who have been working on data in bits and pieces, you'll agree to this kind of a very high level architecture where on the left you have different sources, right? Databases, maybe your streaming data, like your website stream data, or maybe logs of your applications, or maybe the media streamings, what you get on the platform. On the right extreme, you see different devices, right? We get streaming data. Like for base example, I'm delivering a talk and you guys can view it on the different forums, right? So that's a streaming at different devices, you can get it. Different people, different personas of the people also try to access the data. Maybe it's a visualization, machine learning insights, generative AI outcomes, any form, any shape where you start getting different people start accessing the data. And in the center, you see a different processes, different people, different processes, different operations that is at the center where people try to massage or play around with this data to serve at the extreme right. Let's deep dive a bit and understand what exactly those processes looks like. If you try to zoom in a bit within those processes, so this is the complex thing what a data engineering, data architects, data analyst does to get your raw data, which is on the left side, to make it available for your business personas to get availability of it, which includes a lot of stuff, right? From ingestion of the data to processing it, like cleansing that data, transforming it, enriching it, and as well as making it searchable that you catalog, create an index of the data and consumption. The best example to understand the setup is your book. You cannot just randomly pick out the pages, right? When you write any book, you define the content of that book. That content goes to an index. And then based on looking at the index, people start identifying, oh, I need to go to page number 2 for getting this information. I need to go to page number 3 or page number 5. That's exactly what a data engineering does day-to-day basis to rightly organize the data, have a searching mechanism, and available that data to different kinds of people, whether they are from the business, whether they are from the DevOps, whether they are from the data, whether they are from security compliances. And this is what they packages. So that's how it's very complex as well as is critical for any business to function. And that's where we start seeing around what are the challenges do you get when you work around this? And most of the data engineers or the person who's working on data in some form, some shape would agree to it. It's complex and cumbersome, right? It's very complex. You need to write lot of lines of codes to acquire data. Think of you have data from Oracle, MySQL, from RDS, from let's say uh, other warehouse systems. Maybe you have Fitbit streaming. You need to write the code to acquire to get the data from all the different sources. So it's very complex, it's cumbersome and difficult to maintain, right? Then if let's say for some reason you are not able to ingest the data for 5 minutes, that leads incomplete, inconsistent insight because it's not accurate. The outcome result, which should be let's say 72, may show 70 because you miss the 15 minutes of window. The data pipeline management, again, data pipeline management is a nightmare. I've been done like in outside 9 years, 6.5, 7 years. I've worked as a data management, data architect guy. It's a nightmare. You never know. One bad data can lead to a failure of an entire of your pipeline, and you don't even know what failed, why it failed, and you need to spend your nights to figure it out. And with that, you need right people who are the practitioner, experts, and know how to fix it, how to troubleshoot it. And that's where it becomes expensive in terms of people, in terms of processes, in terms of technology. Like how exactly it is critical. And you can talk to any of your organization. If let's say you're working as a DevOps and your organization is already processing at the data, or maybe your friends are working data, you can check, do a fact check with them, and they would resonance that yes, these are the problems which a data engineer needs to do day in, day out to get the right insights to their business stakeholders or to the stakeholders of their organization. With that, let's understand how exactly AWS comes as a survival to solve certain of problem and how they envision to accelerate this. So there are three sections, three pillars or three sections which I'm going to talk about, which is to correlate to the pain point I covered in the previous slide. One, what are the different connectors what AWS provide out of the box? Two, what is AWS Glue and how it simplifies the entire data management pipeline and the failures of it and makes troubleshooting simplified. Three, what is the ZeroETL concept is and how exactly this ZeroETL innovation AWS has been doing from so many years. So let's start with the first one. AWS, yes, this is a surprising slide for most of you guys, but AWS provides 500 different connectors out there to simplify acquisition, ingestion of the data. So you don't have to write the complex code. Each or any of the services, what you're leveraging here, whether it's Airflow, Kinesis, Athena, Data Exchange, Data Sync, QuickSight, Glue, AWS provides connectors out of the box to simplify your entire process of data ingestion. So if you are really looking to ingest the data, I would say before writing the complex code, just look into AWS documentation for either of the services. Maybe you're not trying to reinvent the wheel. The connector is already provided by AWS and you can leverage that. The second is the value added transformation, what you can do with Glue. Glue is a serverless ETL, which helps you to not only simplify the entire processing from scalability, cost, and performance perspective, but the best part, what the Glue has evolved in so many years is the integration, what it brings out of the box to all the different services. Whether you're working with SageMaker for machine learning, whether you're working even with the Bedrock for the Gen AI, whether you're working with OpenSearch, which is for the searching, or Redshift with the warehouse, Glue is a part and parcel of any of your solution and architecture. It integrates very well with Amazon S3 buckets, which is the standard, consistent, cost-effective storage for any of the consumption upstream, whether it's generative AI, machine learning, visualization, or warehouse. So that's what the beauty of Glue has, which makes this integration, the value-added transformation, the hero of our entire data lake story, like how exactly you can do it. The best part of Glue is not just it simplifies the entire management part, it also simplifies the life of data engineer. And this is what I'm talking about even before the generative AI has come around. Now with the Gen AI, the things have been simplified. But even before Gen AI, Glue used to provide Glue Studio, which is what you can drag and drop and you can work with the ETL, Data Brew for processing of the data, and notebooks more from data engineering. So you can process and write Spark code. Let's understand the zero ETL part of it now. ETL, if we talk about Glue in 2016 to 17, it used to integrate with data lake. That's how it started. Then there was a federated queries, like if you have Athena, if you have Redshift, you can connect to different integrations and do it. Then we saw that Redshift started doing machine learning ML technique out of it. Then Redshift came with data sharing, data exchange. Now that's where AWS slowly started getting more towards zero ETL in last 2.5, 3 years, where now you see there is a direct streaming ingestion, there is an auto copy from S3, and finally we see that there's a zero ETL. Now we all get surprises that, okay, there is a zero ETL, there is a zero ETL, which we start hearing in last 2 years. But let me tell you guys, zero ETL is always there from day one. I would say from 2017, 2018, when AWS literally launched Glue. That was the vision of how AWS evolved their service with the vision to achieve zero ETL. And 2021, 2022, or beginning of 2023 is what they achieved, that entire zero ETL concept and innovation. And now last year, they have started integrating zero ETL and all the bits and pieces, and not limited to RDS. They have now zero ETL with OpenSearch. They have zero ETL with via S3 copy. You can leverage zero ETL in form of app flow. So they have extended the zero ETL concept to all the different services. And that's where it simplifies how faster in an accelerated form you can acquire your data, process your data, and make it available for your business consumption, which could be QuickSight, machine learning, or which could be generative AI. It's a game of acceleration and innovation. Let's do one thing. Let's take an example in real life and understand how zero ETL simplify the same architecture which would be in your production environment, maybe in 2018, 2019 standpoint. I will assume a role that I'm running an e-commerce business and I'm doing the transaction. I have a website, I have this e-commerce, I have a physical store. I store all of the data in the databases. So this is how the architecture looks like, some bit of it, where on the left-hand side, you see different sources: product, shipment, inventory, customer data, clickstream for my websites, and other file, right? And then I have all of this based on my sources. I have Aurora, I have Kinesis, Glue, S3, which is putting the data to Redshift. And at the end, I'm doing the insights, which is what my business is looking around, QuickSight or Tableau or Warehouse, so they can understand what the inventory looks like. Now let's start peeling the layers of the onion. Let's understand how zero ETL will simplify the architecture. So federated query, you can directly get the data from Amazon Aurora to federated query to Redshift. Same from S3 also you can get it. So you don't have to worry about the hot and the cold kind of a concept. What data you need, you can directly acquire it without the process. That's what the step one for innovation. Step two, they remove the entire that process of acquiring the data, getting the data from Aurora, putting to Redshift with auto ingestion. In 2022, when they announced this auto ingestion using Aurora to direct to Redshift. Then they also provide auto ingestion, real-time materialized view directly from Kinesis. So if you have any use case of fraud detection, real-time data processing, or visualization, you can now directly get Kinesis, Kafka, MSK directly putting the data to Redshift, and you can do visualization. Auto copy, they removed the glue from copying the data from S3
minute left.
Redshift ML for machine learning. And now they provide data sharing. If you have different teams, you can share the data for one for marketing, one for your data engineering, for your legal compliance, for your procurement team. And that's how they simplify the architecture for the same e-commerce website. This is how the final architecture looks like with the zero ETL, where you're minimizing your coding and more focus on extracting the insights which is required for the business, the optimizations around it. So that's what I had from today's session to talk about the power of zero ETL and how it can help you to simplify and makes you focus. Just think about the same example Maybe if you're solving a generative AI or a machine learning use case, think of how much time are you investing to solve the problem. I can bet you if you're spending 10 hours on that project, 6 hours you may be spending only to acquire and process the data, and 4 hours on the machine learning. How good it would be that 6 hours of prepping the data get minimized to 1 hour, and remaining 5 hours I'm more focused on getting more insights from that machine learning. That's where the vision of AWS is. That's where AWS is going with the zero ETL. So I would request you, please do zero ETL today. And if you have any questions, don't hesitate. You can reach out to me at LinkedIn. I'm always available for having a brainstorming and discussions. So with that, I'm that's all I have for today's session. Thank you so much for joining in. Thank you.